Hey everybody, this is Rob from Revelation Rain, coming at you with another video. Today we're going to talk about the song Alone from our debut album, right here, Vengeance Is Mine. Alone is the first and only ballad on our first album, and it comes in side 1, track 4, which is perfect placement, coming off from Days of the Week, and that's a great segue from Days of the Week into Alone. Alone was written, I wrote that back in 1998 or 1999. And it's funny, I was working at Old Kent Bank at the time, and there was a gal that sat next to me, her office space or whatever was right next to mine. And we would talk in between dealing with clients. And she turned to me one day and she said, I found out that my boyfriend's been cheating on me. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. She goes, I know that you're in a band, because I was in a band at that time, back in 98, 99, when I was in Grand Rapids. And she goes, and I know you write songs. Could you write a song about this situation, about how, our relationship and how he's cheated on me and how I feel betrayed and what have you? And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll try that. So that night I went home, and it was kind of like a challenge. Not that she had challenged me, but she had asked me to write this song. And I took it as a challenge. I was like, well, I want to see how good I can do with this. So the song Alone isn't written about my own experience or a relationship that I was in. It's written for a friend of mine and what she was going through with finding out that her boyfriend had cheated on her. And so I started messing around with this altered chord, okay, and it was in A, and it sounded really cool and eerie. It had like an eerie feel to it. And so once I had all the musical parts put together, I knew that the music was great. I knew that it had a cool sound to it, and I knew that a lot could be done with it. So it's now just a matter of putting the lyrics together. And, a lot of times when we encounter somebody that we feel has done us wrong, or somebody that we feel has no conscience, a lot of times you'll ask them, it's cliche, but you'll ask, how does that person sleep at night? And I thought, well, that's a great way to start this song. So the opening line is, how do you sleep at night? Knowing you tore my heart out, and this kind of stuff. And the lyrics just fell into place perfectly. And again, it wasn't about my own experience. It's about a friend of mine and what she was going through. So back then we didn't have digital recording and whatever else. So I had a little tape player. And so I recorded myself, just me playing the music and singing the lyrics to it. And then the next day I took her the tape, okay? And she's like, thank you. And she took it home and she listened to it. And the following day after that, I remember she came back, she goes, this is a great song, but I was kind of hoping more for something like I Got You Babe by Sonny and Cher. And I'm like, oh, okay. Completely different mindset. And I guess she's coming at it from a different approach of like, we could still make this work and let's still be happy. Okay, if you know the song I Got You Babe by Sonny and Cher, you know what I mean. And I was coming at it from a different perspective, but she still liked it. But even though it wasn't exactly what she was looking for, it turned out to be exactly what I had always been looking for. I always wanted to write that ballad, that slow song, and I felt I had nailed it because of this challenge that she'd given to me. And so I took it to the band that I was in at the time, and they loved it too. And so we played that song in our live set. Well, fast forward, I stopped being in bands. I got married, had kids, raised a family, etc. So you fast forward to about 4 or 5 years ago when Josh and I decided to put a band together. And even though the first 2 bands that we were in were cover bands, we would always do at least 5 of my originals, and Alone was one of them. And everybody liked the song. And I remember when we were in Last Asylum, this is when we had Grant as our drummer, and a lead guitarist, Josh on bass, and then myself on rhythm guitar. And Grant and I had always championed that song, and we wanted to bring it into the live set. And I think Josh did too. I think Josh always liked the song as well, but our lead guitarist either didn't like it or felt he couldn't do anything with it. I don't know, but we would give him the song, and it was always, "Oh yeah, I'm working on it. I should have it by next week, by next week, by next week." And I mean, this went on for months, and he never learned the song for whatever reason. So we never got to play that song alone while we were in Last Asylum. Well, when that band broke up and some time had passed, Grant reached out to me. We decided to put together Revelation Rain. And we settled on the fact that we were going to do all originals. Well, that opened the door for Alone. And we when I say we, I mean Grant and I made the determination that no matter who we get in this band, they're going to learn this song alone, because we're going to do this song. And fortunately, JT and Marty both liked the song anyway, and so we ended up including it in our live sets, and then of course it's on the first record here, track number 4. And it's always gone over well when we do it live, and on the record I just think it sounds great. I think we did a great version of it, and I know that it's a song that a lot of people enjoy and a lot of people can relate to it. And I remember when we went in to record Alone, we added some stuff to it, some backing harmonies and what have you. And it just sounds great. I love the way it sounds. And I'm trying to remember if there's anything else in the recording process. Oh yeah, absolutely. I always thought it would sound cool because I love 12-string acoustic guitars, and I recently bought one. And I was like, this would sound great on Alone. Not playing exactly what the other guitars are doing, but just a few strums here and there. And if you listen to it, it sounds fantastic. It almost sounds like a, isn't it a harp that you see the genie or whatever playing the harp, big stand-up thing? It sounds like a harp almost, but that acoustic 12-string guitar, you hear it throughout Alone, it just adds so much to the song. It sounds great. And JT did 2 killer solos on there, because there's a breakdown in the middle where we're still on a clean channel, so he plays a very clean guitar solo, but it sounds great. And then at the end of the song, we all kick in, distorted channels, the drums are heavier, everything's just rocking the song out, and JT just nails yet another solo. I just love it. And what Marty did on the bass was melodic and just tastefully done. And of course the drumming on the album is, on the album too, but on this song is fantastic. Again, it goes back to the notion that we always had, that leave your ego at the door. And yes, drums are pretty much all the way throughout this song, but Grant's not trying to be John Bonham during this song. He's playing it tastefully, and it fits. He plays to the song. All of these guys do. And that's why the recording turned out so well. It's a great song on a great album by a great band, and it did very well for us, especially when we would play it live. It's nice to have a song that breaks up the pace, so to speak. And some of the audiences that we played to had some older people, and they like to hear something that's, not always hard rock in your face. They like to have something that they can take their wife out onto the dance floor and dance to it with. And so that's why we would include Alone. It just went over that well. Again, that's the story, the history. Again, one of my most favorite songs. And again, it's the only ballad on this first album right here, Vengeance Is Mine. I'm standing here, and I just recently bought these 2 picture frames. Let me see if I can do this right. So I got one of our posters in this picture frame for our first album, and this picture frame with our second album, that poster there. And then, of course, this is the Vengeance Is Mine on vinyl. This is a frame that Grant bought for all of us. So we each got a frame from Grant to put our albums in. This is a gold album for Vengeance Is Mine, and a nice frame. And then behind me, I change up the guitar behind me every so often. For a while I had my black Ibanez Iceman. Now I have my silver sparkly one. And if the lights were on, it would sparkle more, but you can kind of see it. It's a great, great looking guitar. So anyway, I don't know what that has to do with what I'm talking about now, but whatever. All right, guys, that's the story of Alone. Great song. It was on hiatus. It was set aside for a while until we found 4 guys that were willing to, make something of the song, put it back in the live set, learn it, and put it on this record. And no regrets there. Great song, great album. So again, if you want to buy any of this merch that we have, there's other stuff. If you want to buy the CDs, vinyl records, email me at revelationrain@yahoo.com. The CDs are $10. The vinyl is $25. These posters are only $5. So if you want a poster, $5. There's window decals, T-shirts. There's a whole bunch of stuff. So just let me know what you want. Email me. We'll get it sent out to you. And yeah, that's that. All right, guys. Take care, and God bless.